Hello, hello, hello. My name is Michael Maitre. I am the host, the MC for the SOAR conference for Bluebird Leaders, and I'm joined by these two wonderful guests. I have Jodi with me here, and I have Natalie. We're going to dive right in. Jodi, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people?
Great. Hi, Michael and everyone. So nice to be here today. My name is Jodi Frei. I live in Northern Vermont. I'm a leader in healthcare IT. I have a clinical background, a physical therapist, spent much of my career in clinical and quality leadership roles. I got my master's in IT and innovation, and I've spent about the last 15 years since really focused on improving our systems and helping organizations, optimize data and EHRs to improve our outcomes. So happy to be a part of Bluebird Leaders and here today with the two of you.
Oh, Jodi, so great to have you. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Natalie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Torquato. I am located in sunny South Florida, Boca Raton. So, sorry to all of you that are in the snow. And so I am a healthcare consultant. I am also a digital workplace change management professional. So I go into health systems and help them be more efficient. And I came to Bluebird through another friend that was in Bluebird. And I just found it to be such an amazing, different organization rather than all of these other, women in health IT, groups that I've been in. And so I'm super excited to be a part of this. I've been a member for almost since the beginning, I would say, or close to it. And I'm really excited to be working on. I mean, we haven't really dove into it yet, but our very first awards gala, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you for having me, Michael.
So Natalie, you've been a Bluebird since the very, very beginning. I wanted to
Close to it, yeah.
I want to get back to that because I share in that with you. So I want to dive into that a little further. But first, Jodi, tell us about your experience with Bluebird Leaders. Like, how did this come about? Why Bluebird?
Well, the founder of Bluebird Leaders, Rebecca Woods, and we go way back. I can't even remember how long ago Rebecca and I met in the kind of IT Meditech space, honestly. And so she and I have had this connection over the course of the years. And I knew about Bluebird Leaders, but I didn't take the leap, honestly, until I would say about 6 months ago. And it's a game changer. I tell you, I have just had so much, there's just so much energy and, just invigoration on behalf of this group. You are immediately embraced by this group of women and men who are part of Bluebird Leaders. And it's just been an amazing, I feel like I've been a part of Bluebird Leaders since the inception, even though it's only been, about 6 months. So that's a little bit of my history with Bluebird Leaders and when I got started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you mentioned the men. I am an ally, and we do have some fellow allies here as well. But it's just amazing to see even that synergy between the allies and these powerful women leaders doing their thing and being supported fully. No egos in the room. I mean, that's something that's so rare for a conference. And Natalie, I have been like you, I've been involved since the beginning, and I have a burning question. So, what is your assessment about where this began and where it is now? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that Rebecca had a really solid vision of what she wanted this to look like. And I think that what makes it so different, and Michael, you and I think we spoke about this at SOAR, but what makes it so different is that it's not like when I went to SOAR, it wasn't women and men like talking about, well, how do we do business together? Most of the conversations, business never even came up. It was more like, here's people that I've known for 20 years in this business that I have never had these kind of personal conversations with. I had one CIO that I've known for 22 years. And by the end of source, she said to me, "Let me give you my personal cell phone number." And I said, "I've had your personal cell phone number for decades." And she's like, "Natalie, that's my work cell phone number. Let me give you my personal cell phone number." It's that kind of relationship. And it's very different. I feel like it's a safe space. And I came home so invigorated because before that it was a lot of like smaller meet and greets, but like after SOAR, I came home and I was so excited about it that my husband joined, and he's also in healthcare. And so I was really excited about that. In fact, I've had quite a few friends and both men and women join. And so I love it so much.
I love that so much. I love that was perfect. I love that so much. And I think one of the things that the difference maker is that, Rebecca started doing this thing called the unconference. And so right away it was just
Mhm.
kind of like, we don't want you comparing this to other conferences. We don't want you to feel like this is conference-y. We want you to feel
Yeah.
like this is a focus on purpose. This is a focus on what matters the most, relationships. And yeah, you probably will get more business deals out of here than you do in other places, but it's not because we're over here trying to sell. It's because we're building relationships and things are based off of purpose. Jody, I'll just go back to you. So, in recognizing purpose and thinking about the kinds of women that come to this event, the kinds of leaders that come to this event, why do you think it's important to have an awards gala? And what does that mean to you as like somebody who's going to be tasked to kind of gather people for these awards and try to help with a board, a committee or whatever to pick people for these awards? I'm assuming that's what your role is going to be, but like why is that part important? I know it was a position that just kind of been bestowed upon you, but why do you feel like it's important to recognize some of these women?
I think it's important to call out individuals intentionally
Mm,
when they demonstrate these traits and these patterns and these behaviors that are really quite remarkable. So I think, Bluebird, Natalie, I can't take credit for the other couple of awards, but I think there's a nice diversity in the types of awards that the three different awards that are being bestowed. But I think it's really important to recognize growing leaders, recognize people who are um, individuals who are demonstrating these behaviors that we admire. It goes kind of above and beyond the collective. And I think about the kind of the mission of Bluebird, which is, lift as we rise. Did I get that right? Right? Lift as we rise. And that's part of this. It's this collective, but it's also taking a moment to say, you
yeah,
have done an amazing job, and we see that.
yeah,
And that positive reinforcement, I think, goes far, not only in somebody's career, but as far as creating their own confidence and their own personal brand and being able to just grow
yeah.
even further.
And legacy, right? Legacy.
Legacy, yes.
What their daughters are able to see them do, what their daughters are able to see them achieve as a woman in this industry. Natalie, why does this matter?
It matters. Well, it's very, very personal to me. I got involved in the awards gala very early on. So I brought my niece into Bluebird, and she's the youngest person that's in Bluebird Leaders. She just happened to meet everyone when we were in Atlanta, because she works at Emory Health. And so Rebecca and I started talking about, how do we bring in more people and make this more inclusive, but then also recognize the people that are at the pinnacle of their success, that are just starting out. And then this third award that Jodi and I are working on together, which is a really special award. So I think anytime you have the opportunity to recognize people, you are now creating, not only are you giving them a role of being, did I lose you guys?
No, wait.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Like everything went dead. Sorry. You're creating a role for them that they didn't necessarily know that they wanted, but it's a leadership role within itself, in a different context. And then it also gives people something to strive for. And success looks different for everyone. And that's why the spectrum of these awards we've made so broad, because we do want to be inclusive of a lot of different types of people. So
Yeah.
I think that that's why it's important.
Yeah, inclusive of a lot of different types of people. And I think you hit the nail on the head. That is so great. Yes, we're dealing with women, but women come obviously in all shapes and all sizes from all different parts of the
Yeah.
country, from
And
all
men.
parts of the world, and men too. And those allies come from all different places of the world. When we think about the mission that we're doing here, when we think about this is going to be what our fourth conference, third conference, or fourth conference. I want to say it's going to be the fourth conference,
Course, yeah.
right? So we think about the fourth SOAR conference and we think about the trajectory of where it's heading. This is going to be our first awards gala, first of many, right? Um, what is if somebody were to be listening to this that is just now coming to their first conference, somebody were to be listening to this that is just now getting into Bluebird Leaders and what it's about. I'll start with you, Natalie. What is the number one key takeaway that you want them to get from this conference? What is one thing that you can say that they should be taking away from this conference?
Relationships, because the one thing that I will say is I have made, and I'm not talking about necessarily business relationships. I have taken away from every conference, new friendships to where, like, these are people that I feel like I'm going to be lifelong friends with. And having those, because people, this business is very incestuous, for lack of a better term. People move around a lot, so going to a lot of those other conferences, you're kind of tied to companies. This one is, you're tied to people, and creating those ties and those bonds are gonna last you a lifetime. Jodi and I became fast friends, like literally fast friends. And Jodi and I are going to be friends forever. Rebecca's like my little sister. So it's very much a family, and take relationships away from it.
That's so powerful. I'm getting a little emotional. Go ahead, Jody. I'm a crybaby. Go ahead.
I have not been to a SOAR conference because I am a newbie, right? But I can tell you that I recently attended the Vive conference and many Bluebird leaders attended as well. So we were in Nashville and I left that conference. And I have said to people as recently as 2 nights ago, over dinner with a friend of mine, I said, I don't know. I've been to conferences for many, many, many years. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I've presented. I'm a conference guru. And I said to my friend, this was different. Like, I don't know if I went into it with a different headset or if it was the Vive conference. I think now, listening to this conversation, it's about engaging with Bluebird leaders because so much of what I did was with this group. So I would say that my advice would be engage, like lean in. I know it sounds really trite, but lean in and really engage. Think about those connections, those relationships that Natalie talked about, because I will tell you that that's what invigorates. That's what really gets you jazzed up. For me, I realized I was like, this is what I love to do. And I am surrounded by a group of positive, innovative, smart entrepreneurs who want the best for healthcare at large, but also the best for each other. And let's not think about what we can't do. Let's think about what we can do and how we should stand up and hold up our heads high and help each other rise. And that was priceless. I remember a situation where, always pictures are being sent around through text or LinkedIn. And I saw one night, at the beginning of the night, I saw a picture of another Bluebird leader with Rebecca. And then I ran into her later in the night. It completely didn't even know her. And I said, "You're a Bluebird leader." Immediate hugs. Like we don't even know each other. So it's the connections, it's the relationships. Lean in, engage. Don't, take this time to just participate and have an open mind and meet people.
Wow. Natalie, any closing words?
I will just say that it's just piggybacking off of what she just said. So, ironically enough, like in the last 2 days, I have gotten three LinkedIn messages from people in Bluebird that I don't know personally. And all of the messages started off, "Hi, Bluebird." And then, and now I've set up calls with them to get to know them because I want to get to know everyone that's in Bluebird, but I just think that I love that we just call each other, like when you say Bluebird, like it's like, like
Yeah.
you're either in or you're not.
You
So,
know, I love it. I love it. Well, this is way better than I thought it was going to be, not because of you, but because of me. But man, this was amazing. Jody, welcome to the nest. Natalie,
Thank you.
you saw again. Ladies, this has been phenomenal. You guys have done a phenomenal job. I can't wait to see you guys at the conference.
thanks. Yeah, you too,
Thank you.
Michael.